Hey everybody, Maddie here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there that make all our lives better. Hope you're all having a great weekend. We're asking the question today, why does Bitcoin crash so very hard every time it does? It's a unique asset in that sense and is extremely volatile, as we all know. We'll take a look at one individual's explanation for that. We have some good news here because the numbers are kind of nasty today, but the silver lining is that the term Bitcoin Halving as a search term on Google Trends is showing unprecedented numbers. In other words, people are interested. The term itself is spiking even more so than previous halving cycles, believe it or not. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at our recent interview with Mark Yusko of Morgan Creek Capital Management. He is saying in no uncertain terms that Bitcoin is the biggest wealth creation opportunity ever. We'll break down his interview here also in this article by Deepika on altcoinbuzz.io. Similarly, we're going to break down the opinions of thought leaders in the cryptocurrency space and what they have to say about Bitcoin's 2020 halving. And then we're going to alert you guys to some significant discounts that crypto.com is providing, in particular ones relating to VET and a 50% off Bitcoin discount in celebration of the upcoming halving. That is happening very, very soon. Finally, to round things out, we're going to remind you guys of Tomochain's Excalibur Hardfork. That's coming up. It's going to be in conjunction with our AMA Ask Me Anything happening on the 12th of May in just a couple of days with Tomochain. And we're also giving away $20 worth of Tomo to one lucky winner in this partnership, in this giveaway that is sponsored by CoinGecko.com. We'll give you the details as to how you can participate at the end of this video. So all of that we'll take a look at. Let's first, however, take a look at the markets, guys, on CoinGecko.com. The halving is officially 1.5 days away. It's coming up very, very quickly. However, the market has retraced. We're at $243.8 billion. That is down 8.6%, likely in response, I guess, to a failed attempt to breach that 10K point of resistance. So right now, at the time of this recording, Bitcoin is down 8.6%. Other altcoins down similarly 7, 8, 9%, or even down double-digit percentage points. Bitcoin currently sits at $8,758 with a dominance of 66% flat. And that leads us right into our next point. We're asking the question, why does Bitcoin crash so very hard when it does? Well, here with this piece by Alameda Research, we're highlighting the CEO and co-founder's thoughts, Sam Bankman-Fried, who talks about how it's a unique space for a couple of reasons. So he's very much in this quantitative trading space as a result of the company that he founded. And he describes how people in crypto, companies come in, and because we're not really a mature space, individuals with serious bank accounts may want to deposit $100 million, for example, in order to make a lot of money. And to exacerbate that, they list it at 10 times leverage to be able to make even more. But because we're not a mature space to begin with already price fluctuations are moving kind of more quickly than they normally would in traditional markets. And so what happens is when you have some dangerous signals, when you have price drops, you have these companies that, with $100 million, for example, leveraged at 10 times, if they get a signal that they're close to bankruptcy, that they're really heading in a direction where they cannot sustain the loss, they're going to pull out very quickly and very abruptly. But then because of that over leveraging, what happens is you have a knock-on or chain reaction effect, because then you have a significant price drop that triggers another system's automated sell features. If they have for another 100 million or 50 million or whatever it is, but also leveraged very highly, they're going to then exit, as will subsequently perhaps 2 or 3 more other firms that are equally leveraged. So you have this chain reaction effect that does not really exist in other spaces. The example of Apple is brought up, and if Apple were to suddenly drop 20-30% in a day, well, their product offering is very different and they have a very established track record. So if the Apple stock were to drop 30% in a day, it would be gobbled up just as quickly by new investors that would want to pick up the stock on the cheap. But we're not there, however, yet with Bitcoin. Check out this full video, guys, this explainer. I've talked through most of it. It's only 2 minutes long, but it's a very interesting take on why we do see the kind of volatility that we do in this sector. Let's move on now to some good news on Invez.com. The interest collectively and publicly for, quote, Bitcoin halving as a search term on Google has reached its highest ever result. You guys could take a look at the article here, but really I'd like to walk you through the data on Google Trends. As you can see here, we are soaring, and if you extrapolate this data, we expect to have an all-time interest at about really the time of halving coming up on the 12th of May. So it seems like the interest in the Bitcoin halving is highly correlated with the event itself. No surprise there. We're really in uncharted territory here. What you have, if you're not familiar with Google Trends, is relative interest in a particular term. In this case, Bitcoin halving. So you have relative interest suggesting, for example, June 30th to July 6th of last year, you had about 5% of the relative interest that we're now seeing in Bitcoin halving as a search term. And I know you may be thinking that, well, yeah, but this is the year of the halving, and so it's not a fair comparison. That's what I thought as well, to be honest. But if you go back in time, let's enter a custom range and go back all the way to 2010, to April of 2010. As you can see, even during previous halving cycles, we're still at all-time record interest in that search term, Bitcoin halving, even going back to June and July of 2016 during the previous halving. So we've blasted those interest levels out of the water, and this is just one metric. This is just one piece of data. I don't think you can really extrapolate all that much. However, I will say it could possibly be a good omen for the future going forward. Let us know what you guys think this means for the future of Bitcoin post-halving. All of a sudden, we have a lot more people talking about it, a lot more people that see it as a known quantity. They understand it. They perhaps, or if not understand, or at least looking into it further. I think that's a pretty good thing. We now want to alert you guys to the recent interview that we conducted with Mark Yusko of Morgan Creek Capital Management. Again, in no uncertain terms, Mark is very optimistic about Bitcoin and about this space. In fact, he called Bitcoin during our interview the biggest wealth creation opportunity ever. So he's not mincing his words. He's very enthusiastic and very eager to continue his work in this space. He comes from more of a traditional markets background. If you haven't been checking out these interview segments, guys, they're a little bit more longer form. As you can see, this one here is just under half an hour, 27 minutes, but it's a really great way to in-depth get a sense of what your favorite personalities and thought leaders in this space have to say about a particular topic. And the cherry on the cake is that they're exclusive to Altcoin Buzz. So we'll link to this in the description below. Check out Mark's discussion in full if you have not already. But here's the breakdown. Article by Deepika. Mark is suggesting a $100,000 Bitcoin by mid-2021 and a price perhaps as high as $400,000 in 7 to 8 years. So Mark suggests that no market works on fair value price but revolves around it instead. It is just like a pendulum. On one side the price goes up and on the other the price drops. Somewhere in the middle you'll find the fair price. So while the fair value for the traditional assets is determined by economic profits, corporate profits, and things like interest rates, the Bitcoin fair price works differently. For Bitcoin, the fair value is driven by adoption, regulation, and usage of the cryptocurrency because after all, it is a network. And here Mark is invoking the stock to flow model. According to Mr. Yusko, in 2017, Bitcoin magically followed that particular model and therefore crossed the 10K mark. And if we follow the same model, Bitcoin will exceed $100,000 somewhere in the mid-end of 2021, and this would establish a new fair value for Bitcoin. Check out the rest of this piece, guys, to get all of Mark's insights as to different things relating to not only Bitcoin's price, but its halving, of course, as well as his prediction for $400,000 down the road. Again, he suggests that that's going to happen about 7 to 8 years from now. We also have some other thought leaders that are weighing in on the Bitcoin halving. They're giving us their opinions about what to expect and what to look forward to in anticipation of the halving, but also beyond. Article here also by Deepika. As Bitcoin tries to climb over $10,000. One day we'll be reporting on $100,000. As Bitcoin tries to climb over 10K, Altcoin Buzz spoke to industry experts and thought leaders to understand what halving is doing to the price. Is it the sole price moving factor? If you guys have been watching the interview segments, then you are no doubt familiar with some of the opinions here by some of these industry leaders. And unfortunately, there are too many of them to go through individually, but we'll list them here. And I'll remind you guys that you do want to check them out. Jeff Kurdikis, the founder of Uptrend to begin with. Many of the opinions, as you can imagine, are probably optimistic and positive, but that's to be expected from individuals within this space. We also have Sandeep Nailwal, the co-founder and CEO of Matic. Matic, I understand, is getting a lot of chatter for those of you for those members of the Altcoin Buzz army, I should say, and for good reason. We have Bobby Ong, the co-founder of CoinGecko, Ruben Yap, the chief operating officer of Zcoin, Michael Gu of Box Mining. We're going to get Mike's take here, as well as Alexander Busarovs, the co-founder of TilePay. So guys, check out this article, Deepika's write-up in full for all of the individual opinions here related to these leaders in the space. Again, for different reasons, they are optimistic about all that is to come. And I've said it before, I don't think there's going to be an immediate reward phase sort of right after Bitcoin's 2020 halving. I don't think we're going to wake up on May 13th and instantly see a 50, 60, 70, 80K Bitcoin or higher. I think it's going to take some time, but these are the initial steps. These are sort of the mechanisms by which we get there. And I think, unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, some of that comes down to competition between miners, competition between those that are manning the rigs and buying the hardware. I think we're going to have to, unfortunately, see some people leave that space as profitability margins shrink. But in the long term, that is ultimately what creates a scarce resource, and that's what's going to rebalance the supply and demand curve before we find equilibrium. Just my thoughts, but make sure you check out this article in full for the thoughts of these other guys in the space. Now we have some news from Crypto.com, and they have some great promotions that we want to alert you to, beginning with this one here, this tweet from the 5th of May. By the way, make sure you're following at Crypto.com. Earn up to 2% per annum on your VET with soft staking on Crypto.com exchange. Earn daily interest paid in VET and no lockup is required. Earn up to 5% on idle funds in 15 coins now with soft staking. You can find more details on blog.crypto.com. And probably more relevant to what's happening now, this tweet a little bit older from, I believe, the 30th of April. However, we're coming up now on the 12th of May, of course, the Bitcoin halving. So at Crypto.com, presenting Crypto.com halving special with 50% off on Bitcoin on the 12th of May on the Crypto.com exchange with $1 million in allocation. No CRO staking required, and you can sign up now with this link right here. We're also giving away $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. Follow and retweet for a chance to win $250. Guys, 50% off Bitcoin exclusively on Crypto.com with a $1 million allocation if you are in the market to pick up some Bitcoin. And this is not financial advice. However, if this is something that's already on your radar, believe me, that is a great deal. So check it out. We're going to link to all of these tweets, of course, in the description below where you can find more information with the embedded links that they include. Finally, however, guys, for today, we also have the Tomochain Excalibur Hardfork giveaway that's coming up. Don't forget about that. Altcoin Buzz, rather, is hosting an AMA Ask Me Anything on its YouTube channel and also announced $20 worth of Tomo for one lucky winner. This giveaway is in conjunction with CoinGecko.com. So first of all, there is news of the Tomochain Excalibur Hardfork. For more information, check out the rest of the write-up here. However, let's get to the AMA. Again, that's happening with Tomochain and on the 12th of May. In conjunction with that, we are giving away a prize, $20 worth of Tomo. Here are the details at Altcoin Buzz IO Excalibur Hardfork giveaway. $20 in Tomo to one lucky Altcoin Buzz YouTube subscriber. Yes, you must be subscribed. You must also comment on the video with your Tomochain wallet address. You can comment on every video starting with this one leading up to the video on the 12th of May, which will be the AMA, the Ask Me Anything with Tomochain. And simple enough to participate, and we wish you well if that is what you choose to do. We have one lucky winner, again, that will be announced on the 12th of May. That about wraps it up for today, everybody. Do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications if you've enjoyed today's video. Best of luck if you choose to invest, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday. A happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there. And as always, yes, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.